What's up guys, it's Erlane and today we back at it like a chiropractor with another commentary style video. I actually didn't originally plan to upload this week as it seems to be a pattern that I'm doing that now. Midterms and school have been an absolute biatch and I'm literally so burnt out. So the energy I was gonna put into the video that I wanted to upload this week will be pushed later on into the next coming weeks. But last night I got inspired to do this video because I saw TikToks from the other day talking about this topic, and then I saw another video. Today we're going to be talking about how y'all have normalized assholery and cyberbullying. Let's get into it. Also, one more thing. A lot of you guys sent me so much love on my last commentary video, the Olivia D'Andrea one. So many of you were saying the sweetest things, like how eloquent and articulate I am. That means the world, because these videos are actually hell to film. Whenever I film like a commentary or chit chat type of video with a topic already in mind, it's hard for me to express my thoughts into actual words without jumbling on my words millions of times. So I really appreciate that you guys actually got what I was trying to say, because I was editing and I'm like, I really hope people get what I'm saying, because some of this is not clicking like it should be. But I really appreciate that, and it's actually the first video on my channel to get 100k views, so thank you. If you gave the video a thumbs up, commented, engaged, whatever, subscribed even, I really appreciate that. And also subscribe now if you are into this, because I think I'll probably do more commentary style videos since you guys really seem to love that one. But yeah, like I said, today we're going to be talking about how you guys lack compassion. And I'm not talking about you guys, watching this video, because I know you have a heart, you have a spirit, you are a human, and you acknowledge that other people are human as well. I'm talking about these dimwits and twerps that are citizens of the internet, constantly spreading hate and their misery and negativity like peanut butter. Recently, I've noticed a ton of creators on social media apps, and more particularly on TikTok, talking about the recent influx of just negativity and almost cyberbullying. That's what it is, and how rampant it's gotten on the app.
This app used to be so fun, and now your favorite creator is depressed. I wish you could see your favorite creators friends only, because these motherfuckers is suffering mentally. So you should watch your mouth when you comment.
So this is a long overdue conversation, and it's definitely a topic I've talked about before, but it seems to be a reoccurring issue, and it's just how toxic this app has gotten. And I understand that the way that we are all acting on here as a community is obviously a product of our environment, because we've been cooped up in our homes for almost a year now. But it's almost alarming how comfortable we've gotten in being so miserable. And usually the only time that we can relate to each other is when we're talking about all the things that we hate. And that's a problem. There's definitely self-awareness and awareness in general that's been lacking on this app, because understanding people's emotions and how they feel is what creates empathy, and that's how people are nice to each other, and that should be the default. And obviously sometimes we don't even want to deal with our own problems and our own traumas, so we completely dismiss it and then hyper-analyze and attack somebody else for what they're doing. And in most cases, it's usually creators. You can't be out here hurting people just because you're hurting. Do better.
Before I start, I just want to acknowledge that holding somebody accountable for something harmful or destructive that they did is completely different than canceling somebody because it's trending. Somehow we've normalized cyberbullying to any creator that's putting out content and being vulnerable with their life, and I have no idea how being mean became just so normal. As a generation, I think we can all agree that we're closer than ever, but also more far apart than ever. I swear that some of the comments that I see on these TikToks, I could never see anyone saying to another person's face in real life. I'm not saying I've never made a snarky comment before or said anything mean. We all have, but the toxicity on this app, I think we can all agree, has gone to extremes lately.
Now, TikTok already has a reputation of being super negative and just weird. We've already talked about this, and just how toxic the app can be, and the messages that it spreads and the content that it allows. That's another video that you can go watch, because so many people have made it. I think it's gotten to a point where, again, it's creators are having to take literal mental health breaks, because you cannot post a video without worrying about what someone is going to say. Even if you breathe, they'll comment on how your diaphragm is rising and falling, when that's just it's just nitpicking at this point. There's not even an ounce of constructiveness in what these people say. It's just unfunny and mean. And that's the thing, they hide it under the demise that it's a joke, but it's it's not funny. you know? And I'm talking about TikTok because that is what inspired me to even make this video in the first place. But this is not only exclusive to TikTok. It's now starting to trickle down like a parasite to other platforms, and more particularly on Twitter. Now, Twitter has always had a bad rep of miserable and negative people who just have no heart at all. Like I said, it's gotten to a point where it's like I feel the beating in my chest, do you? And I really do enjoy platforms like TikTok and Twitter to a certain extent. Except for Twitter. I actually wholeheartedly hate Twitter. But like TikTok, I will say I do like going on TikTok. I like watching dance videos and comedy videos. Like, bitches are funny and I want to watch you be funny. I be laughing my ass off. It's hard to enjoy that when you open the comment section and you just see so many people like being comfortable about the fact that they're like bullying you online. It's even gotten to Pinterest. Like, Pinterest would start it off as like a crafty type of app where you can just like pin your ideas and move on. If you open the comment section on a pin on Pinterest, I'm sure there will be one comment somewhere, whether it be about food, if it's like a picture of someone in an outfit, it'll be about their body. Like, all y'all do is just project, and it's annoying. Like, stop it. You are bullying people and even things for just existing, and that is ridiculous. And I know the word normalized has been like beaten up like a dead horse, similar to the word toxic, but I'm literally using the word normalize and the normalization of cyberbullying because it has literally become so painfully normal. Y'all are so comfortable with being assholes. Y'all have been completely desensitized to how words can genuinely affect someone, even if it is under the cover-up of a joke.
Fly like a bird, what you heard, big bird,
And this conversation could even be extended to the whole cancel culture thing that we've been talking about all throughout 2020 and how it's been completely washed up and lost its meaning. Back in the day, cyberbullying was a serious thing. We've heard so many stories and seen so many people reap the negative consequences of what happens when cyberbullying goes too far. And cancel culture started off as the same thing. It was meant to be something that was helpful and useful and take people taking advantage of their power onto less powerful people and taking them out of the positions that they don't belong in. Both two things have completely lost their meaning because of how comfortable you guys are with doing it in any situation when it does not apply to every single situation. It's like people can't differentiate between calling someone out on genuine inappropriate behavior that needs to be fixed and addressed, or when someone really is just like being annoying and nitpicking you. And when those lines get blurred, people just cancel you for anything. As soon as someone gets offended, people are so quick to be like, OMG, y'all are so sensitive. This generation is so sensitive. But listen, that excuse is tired. You are not wrong. This generation, I will say, is sensitive. Hell, I am sensitive. All right, I know. But there's a difference, again, like I mentioned earlier in comparison with cancel culture. There's a difference between just being sensitive over nothing and then having your feelings genuinely be hurt or being genuinely offended by someone's words or actions. These people who y'all give a platform, y'all, not me, will say the most racist, insensitive, ableist, just tone-deaf ass things. Cover it up with a joke and laughter, and y'all will laugh with them, and then call people who the jokes apply to or who the jokes affect sensitive when they get offended, and rightfully so, because they're being targeted, whether there's laughs and giggles or not. And not to mention, y'all ride for these people. Ride for these people who makes the joke in the first place, as if they're not doing anything wrong. And the minute someone actually does call that creator out or call your fave out on some like real life constructive stuff, like, hey, you probably shouldn't have did this or probably shouldn't have said this, death threats get pulled out. Death threats. That is your first weapon of defense. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Like, that should not be your first option. That should not be your first resolution. Death threats, please. For calling someone out on some real stuff that they shouldn't have done in the first. Okay. That makes you just as bad as the person who made the comment in the first place. Someone makes a bad comment, you try to defend your fave by telling someone else who you don't even know on the internet to hurt themselves. I am floored, please. And this type of thing can easily be seen with the recent situation with David Dobrik and Seth Francois of the Vlog Squad. David Dobrik, YouTube's favorite short length content vlogger, for whatever reason, has made jokes about Mr. Seth, literally threatening that man to get him into jail or get in a run-in with the police. When one, he's black, and two, apparently he actually has actual warrants and things on his record that could literally get him in trouble if the police wanted to book him for whatever reason. Now, I don't know about you, but that's fucked up. I mean, we saw over the summer in 2020 with the whole BLM movement and the George Floyd, people finally started to realize that black people are no friend to the police. Black people, and specifically black men, are 2 times more likely to experience police brutality than any other white counterpart or person of color counterpart. What makes you think it is okay to make a joke about that? Especially when you see people literally getting killed by the police for no reason at all. Adults, teenagers, children, men or women. As long as you're black, you are at a disadvantage. Like, I don't understand why he thought that was funny to make a joke. And then the bigger story that's recently happening was also about David making content about Seth literally being on camera because he was under the mask that he was going to be kissing another vlog squad member, Corinna, when the person under the mask was actually 45-year-old man Jason Nash, laughing and kikiing about it like it's funny. And what's worse is that in the interview that Seth did with Insider, he said that even his fans were laughing and kikiing at him. Like, it's come to a point where David and the whole vlog squad thing in general, they've all made multiple jokes and type of like microaggressive things like this towards Seth, to the point where people don't even realize when it's wrong anymore because you keep doing it so much. And when you do it, it's covered up with laughs. Even his own fans don't have his own back because y'all think it's funny to make racist and microaggressive jokes, and how even or harass someone for fun. Please go make your money somewhere else. Charli friggin' D'Amelio. I don't care what you say about that girl. You can like her, you cannot like her, you think she has too much hype for no reason. That is not the point. The point is she's 16 years old. 16, she's still a minor, okay? And the comments under her TikToks, thank the Lord, the top comments are not hate comments anymore. But way back when, a few months ago, all of her top comments were hate comments. Every single last one. Literally, it would be just the stupidest stuff, talking about, oh, you lost hype. Whenever the conversation of her weight came up, if she made a TikTok of her in like a bathing suit or a crop top or something, people would talk about her weight and do all this other stuff that is completely not in their place to talk about in the first place, for one. And just send her bottom of the barrel hate and negative comments, questioning her well-being and her intelligence as a person because she decided to throw it back or hit the whoa. Like, it's not that serious. Why are you being so harsh on her? Dua Lipa was crying on live a few months ago before Future Nostalgia released because someone leaked her album early, and y'all turned that shit into a meme like it's funny. It's not funny, because that is her hard work that she's been busting her ass to do, and she got hurt that it got compromised and it got released early. She wanted it to be a surprise for her fans, and y'all turned it into a meme and started laughing at her. I am all for a good meme. I'm all for a good laugh. Turning your pain into laughter is great, because if we didn't laugh, we would cry. I understand that. And this is not me being sensitive or anything. It's just, I don't know, having compassion, which is what y'all lack. Y'all refuse to put yourself in someone else's shoes just because you get your LOL for the day. But it just takes 2 more seconds to think about what you might say or what you might do to someone's pain, or if you're just saying some rude stuff for no reason, how it can affect them. Like, y'all really be projecting so much insecurity, jealousy onto people who have nothing to do with you. Like, you're putting a lot of responsibility into what they're doing onto yourself. And this may be a little hypocritical. Why? Because of the video I made about Olivia D'Angelo. Some people were saying in the comments, I got a few little snarky comments about them being like, you know, this is her journey. At the end of the day, she cannot control what you do. And I'm like, correct. I said that in the video. That's exactly my point. But you have a responsibility to be careful what you put out as a content creator, i.e. the David Dobrik thing. If you're out here making racist, microaggressive jokes, acting like it's normal, and then you have your fans saying also racist and microaggressive jokes to a black man or another person of color, don't you think it is a little bit of your responsibility for why these things are happening in the first place? especially when the platforms we engage in mostly consist of a younger audience.
My jewelry ain't cool, just like a breeze. I done be say like a sneeze.
And just going back to the well-being of a person in general, I feel like people forget that what you're watching right now, this is not the real me. Right now, I'm a bunch of pixels and codes and RBG that is now being reflected to you through a screen. Even though I'm pixels and codes right now, that does not mean I am pixels and codes as a person. This is not a hologram. I'm still a human being at the end of the day. So it's not okay for you to completely disregard someone's humanity, intelligence, and well-being as a person just because you don't like them or just because you don't like something they said or like something they did. And granted, a lot of these people and creators do say and do some questionable things, even the people I mentioned before that I'm over here defending. But under no circumstances is it okay to tell someone that they deserve to hurt themselves or die. It is not okay to call someone a pig or a horse or a whale just because they wanted to wear a crop top or a bathing suit. Addison Rae messed up once and didn't realize that Korea is also in Asia. It was a little slow moment, I agree, and it was funny, adorable even. But now you literally have people calling her dumb, stupid, head empty, brain smooth. And it's like, it was funny for a little bit, but now it's not. You know how people talk about portion control and how you can have anything you want as long as it's in moderation because too much of something is bad. That does not only apply to things you consume in your body, such as food and drink. It also applies to the words that you either say to yourself or out loud to other people. That's the thing, y'all take these things too far. Because as I mentioned before, platforms like TikTok and Twitter have always been a little bit not on the good side, you feel me? But now it's being taken to another level to the point where you have creators taking breaks. You have people literally experiencing cyberbullying on the daily because of y'all. Like, y'all don't know when to stop. Like, it was funny for a little bit and it might be funny to make these harmless jokes for a little bit, but imagine reading thousands and thousands and receiving thousands of DMs and tweets and comments talking about how dumb you are, how stupid you are, how fat you are, how you should die. In what world do you think that is okay? Because it's not. There's a difference between being constructive, messing around, making jokes, and then just being straight cruel. And again, I say, I know some of these creators have done some very questionable and downright unforgivable things, but there is never a situation where it is okay to tell someone to do any of the prior that I mentioned before.
He got a Cadillac bitch running up the bench. Yeah.
Truly, here's the thing. There is beauty in anonymity, and that is what the internet thrives on. Ever since the internet started, even though I wasn't alive when the internet started, I'm just here for the ride. You guys enjoy the fact that people cannot see your face. Prior to the internet, you had to go to someone's house. You had to knock on someone's door, look at them in the face, and tell them the shit you wanted to tell them. Now you don't have to. And not only that, you can hide it with a username and a profile picture that actually does not match up with you at all. So people don't even know who they're talking to. And while that may be cool in hindsight to be able to surf the web anonymously, it also gives y'all the opportunity to just straight cap. Y'all are not about that life at all. Because funny enough, a lot of the shit y'all are saying in these comments, you would never go to that person's face and tell them to gracefully suck it or anything. Like, you are not a bully, so stop acting like you're some big bad bully and you come off stupid. It just makes you come off dumb because we know that you are not about it. So stop acting like you are. And this brings me to another point. Onion girl, you know you're such an onion girl. I remember back in the day, I'm 19 right now. I'm talking about like middle school, going into high school. I noticed a shift in the culture and how kids interacted with each other. Now, I'm sure all of us have a story, some more than others, unfortunately, of having bullying experiences in school. We've all been bullied at some point in school, in person. I'm not talking about online. And I know kids and teens are mean, don't like children. It's always been that way. It's always going to be that way. That's just what happens when you're growing up. I'm aware of that. But this was during a time we were witnessing people's stories like, say, Anna Todd, who had unfortunate circumstances from being bullied so much, both in person and online. And I guess collectively, we realized just how fucked up it is to just constantly torment and taunt someone like that, especially when you don't know how they're going to react at the end of the day. Something you think you're saying is harmless, people could literally take it literally and do something that is at the expense of what you said to them in the first place. So with that in mind, I feel like as we got older, people stopped caring so much. People stopped being so mean. We all realized and decided that being mean is not cute, cool, or attractive in any way. You're just being an asshole. In fact, if you take out that much time to hurt someone's feelings, you sound like a fan, not like a bully. And even the people in school who did get made fun of, like, we would be cool with. There was literally a guy in my high school who dressed up like Spider-Man, jumping everywhere in the hallway. And while we all thought it was funny, like, he was a cool person. I remember he even got in trouble, like, with the administrator, and people were out here riding for him. Like, even though we're laughing at him, I guess, in some regard, we're also, like, there with him, like, banded together. I don't know if that makes sense, but, like, I don't know, we just became one. Even if we all don't like each other, we're not gonna be bitches to each other. Like, that's stupid. But somehow, some way, we have regressed exponentially in the progress that we made of realizing just how bad cyberbullying and just bullying in general can be. Now, this is a concept that I find really interesting when I observe TikTok, and I've heard some other people mention this, is that TikTok is kind of like a hive mind. Everyone thinks the same, talks the same, damn near has the same humor, and that is because it's a prime example of being a product of the environment that you're part of. It's a very much so monkey see, monkey do type space where if you see someone do something, you hop on the trend, and that is how these trends happen, whether it be with actual videos that are posted on the app, like with the dances or the jokes or whatever. But then there's actually, separate from the TikTok like trend culture of the videos itself, there's a TikTok culture of the literal comments, like the comment section. And when one person starts something, it becomes like a whole new like revolution on it. And you see this when people first started to do like the I'm shy thing with the little fingers and use that emoji with the two hands. Y'all did it with the fairy comments, and now y'all are just mean. I was gonna like try and think of something else that happened, but no, now y'all are just mean. Anyways, and things like the I'm shy thing and the fairy comments, they started off as really funny. Like, y'all were actually making some funny joke that I would never be smart enough to come up with. It was just getting out of hand. That's the thing, y'all take it too far. Y'all don't know when to stop. Like, y'all are literally hiding, telling people to hurt themselves and injure themselves and stop doing something that makes them happy and that they're harmlessly enjoying under the demise of a fairy and sparkle emoji with a smiley face at the end. That's not okay. Nor is it funny. And that's the thing, everybody's laughing because they're so used to it at this point. Again, I say, it has become so normalized because y'all are so comfortable with being assholes. Like, y'all be hating on people for just existing. Y'all see this under, say, a skinny girl is just doing a dance challenge, minding her own business, and y'all would be like, well, I'm not gonna eat today. Like, for one, you deserve to eat. You deserve food. Everyone is beautiful in their own right, so there's no reason to compare yourself to someone who looks absolutely nothing like you. And two, you cannot put the responsibility of your insecurities onto someone else when she was not doing anything wrong, or they were not doing anything wrong for just making a harmless dancing video. It's their body type. They can't really control that. Like, oh, everyone does. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, literally Pinterest, is project insecurity, misery, negativity onto other people as if it's their responsibility in the first place, when it's not. Because fun fact, if you're really that mad at this stranger that you don't even know, you can just log out. Just log out. It's fine. You don't have to be on the internet every second of the day. You can just log out. We need to normalize logging out. That's what we need to normalize. Shit. Because y'all forget that you can just swipe out of the app, lock the phone, turn on the TV, go outside, touch some grass. You don't need to be on your phone all the time, putting yourself through this. And people are so afraid to make mistakes and voice their opinions on an app that they rightfully so can voice their opinions on harmlessly, especially with such a big community. It's really interesting to get multiple insights on something that you want to talk about in a conversation you want to start. But people will literally drag your ass through the mud and through the sand if you even do one little thing wrong. Because like I said, we're all human beings at the end of the day. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've been a completely perfect citizen of the internet all my life. Of course, I've made my snarky comments on the occasion. I don't do it as much as I used to, obviously, because I'm more mature now. It's like you guys get off at seeing people miserable. And this leads me to another point, because recently I found an amazing content creator. Her name is Madison Brown. Literally so beautiful, so insightful, so smart. But she made a video because she made a TikTok and it went viral. And she was bombarded with hate. Now, in the TikTok, she was talking about how plastic surgery has gone a little bit too far. And she was using the example of the Claremont twins. I'm pretty sure they're on Bad Girls Club, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But those twins, they're on Instagram and they have significantly changed their appearance. Like, two completely different people. I didn't even recognize them. And they've had obvious work done to their face and bodies to make such big transformations, even completely change their skin tone. And it's not like she was being anti-plastic surgery in the TikTok. In fact, I'll show it right now so you have a reference of what I'm talking about.
probably wondering how I got here. Well, I posted a TikTok. That's it. And honestly, the TikTok wasn't even that fucking bad. Okay, I don't know why we aren't talking about this more, but plastic surgery is getting way too normalized. Like, we're gonna have a generation of grandmas who look deformed because they didn't know face filler doesn't actually dissolve, it just migrates. Deadass, everyone's gonna look like this in a few years. So if there's anyone out there who follows the Claremont twins, can you actually genuinely tell me why you guys follow them or what it is that you find entertaining about them? I just don't really get why they're so popular, considering that they used to look like this and now they look completely different. Like, they're not really setting a good example for young black women or just women in general. And I just want to know why people follow them. Like, do people not know they used to look like this? Do they just not care? I think the Claremont twins say a lot about our current society and the whole Instagram face thing and how normalized plastic surgery is, because these girls are heavily surgerized and it's honestly kind of disturbing, and I feel like things are just going bad. Like, if this is really what people are doing, I don't want to see what the future generation is going to look like. In last week's video, I said, I don't know what it is about TikTok that just breeds evil, but the comments on that fucking app can be brutal. I was thinking about making a video about that, like why TikTok is so toxic. Little did I know I'd have plenty of material.
Anyways, yeah, she wasn't being anti-plastic surgery or anything, but she genuinely was opening up a conversation. One, because people value vanity over actual talent, because at the end of the TikTok, she did ask, you know, what do you actually like about the Claremont twins if it's not for their visuals, because they don't really have any talent. And two, again, just the conversation of the overly done plastic surgery. People were saying she was body shaming, you know, girl, this ain't it. Like, why aren't you letting people be liberal over their bodies type thing, which was not at all, at least what I gathered when I watched the video, was not what she was implying. In fact, I and she as well are completely okay with being liberal over your body. It's your body. You can do what you want at the end of the day. You can go get plastic surgery if it's something that you've always wanted to do and if it'll genuinely make you happy and feel more secure. I'm all for that because it's your happiness and your mental health at the end of the day. But they were literally telling Madison, you know, girl, you have the wrong opinion. Like, first of all, wrong opinion. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binaries, what is the definition of an opinion? Anyways, need I explain myself? But yeah, people were saying she was just completely dismissing liberalism over your own body when that was not at all what she was saying, but rather opening up the conversation of just how comfortable people have gotten with doing these extreme plastic surgery transformations, and again, how it can influence the audience that is watching and seeing that this is happening, especially younger people. And not only that, when they get work done, they're so extremely praised with these extreme transformations without even questioning, you know, like, why would somebody do this in the first place? But you cannot be comfortable with spreading the idea to an audience, young or old, that any and all of your insecurities can be fixed if you decide to go under the knife. Y'all forget, plastic surgery is dangerous, okay? There are risks. Things can happen, and not everyone reacts to these things the same way as someone else. So for you to put on this fake facade as if everything is beautiful and perfect in your life and in your appearance because you got plastic surgery, like, what does that say to someone else? If you want to get plastic surgery, you got to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. So that's why Madison opened up the conversation of, like, you know, what do you like about the Claremont twins if you watch them and engage with their content, you know, besides their looks, because they've obviously gotten more followers and more attention because of their looks. But yeah, people were going straight unhinged in her comments and even in her DMs on Instagram, calling her like a bitch and a bitch ass and a hoe, and even some people resending her Instagram posts to body shame her or just shame her about something about her appearance, which is low down, might I add. Even on my Olivia D'Andrea video, some people were accusing me of things I didn't even say or even had the chance to imply. There was a comment that was implying that I said that losing weight is bad under all circumstances and that we shouldn't glamorize a fat or unhealthy body, whatever you consider that, when that is not at all what I implied when I made that video. In fact, I never mentioned anything about Olivia's body itself in that video. I only mentioned that her family was making comments on it, but I never mentioned anything about her appearance. I was just talking about the things she was saying and doing in the videos in the first place, and simply criticizing her methods of which she was sharing her journey and how genuinely harmful it could be. And y'all validated supported me anyways, because a lot of you said some really interesting points backing me up and even just, again, starting new conversations. But somehow people were thinking that I was implying that I was glamorizing, saying I was being a hater and that I'm jealous and all this other stuff. I'm not jealous. Of course, I want you to be happy and be healthy. And if losing weight is going to do that for you, by all means, do that, please. Health is wealth. But there is a way to do things and also a way to tell people how to do things. And when you're in over your head, you got to be careful, which is the entire point of that video. But because they disagreed with me, they just completely dismissed the video itself and the main premise of that video, because I mentioned multiple times that the main premise of that video was to criticize how she was sharing her journey and the tips she was giving in her journey, not the weight loss itself. And that's what happens whenever it be a TikTok or a tweet or a YouTube video or anything. People are so quick to just completely dismiss your opinion, and if it's an opinion they disagree with, and that is when they start witch hunting you, which is not okay. You do not need to demonize me and my well-being as a person just because you disagree with a point I made, especially when I'm not even being disrespectful. Everyone has different opinions. If everyone thought the same, we would all be one person, but that's just not the case. People love to pretend to be so fake woke and like neoliberal when it comes to these type of more social conversations, whether it be about like appearance and like identity and all this other stuff, but then you demonize someone when they have an opposite opinion about the well-being and mental health of other people. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you can't even have an opinion anymore without someone harassing you and demonizing you in some form, which is exhausting. Like, whether you're someone who is like, I don't care what people say, I don't care what you say, even if you say you don't care, you care a little bit, because when you have that many people coming at you for something like that, you do start to feel bad. You start to feel conflicted, as if, you know, hey, did I imply this? Did I say something wrong? Did I really do something wrong? When you're not, you're just having a respectful opinion and wanting to open up a conversation, and sometimes a conversation that needs to be had, such as the plastic surgery thing. I even remember on Twitter when at the beginning of the year, people were talking about like minimum wage and like the stimulus checks and everything because of the panoramic. And you had grown adults literally being like 17 and 18-year-olds who work at McDonald's should struggle financially just as much as I did when I was 17 and 18. Don't you try and get a job and do good in life so that you can do well and wish well onto your future children and your children's children and your children's children's children, because this system is built off of the struggle of under 1% people. You know what I mean? Like, there's the 1% and then there's the rest of us. This system is built on the struggle of the rest of us. Why would you want a 16, 17, 18-year-old who is busting their ass to make money, and sometimes even put in situations of having to support their family from a young age? Why would you want them to struggle? Why would you want them to only be making $7 an hour minimum wage when that's not even a livable wage? You can't even live comfortably on a $7 an hour job. You had people completely dismissing unskilled labor that helps keep their trash from piling onto their driveway every Friday and helps keep that quarter pounder that they go get in their mouth. Like, if it's so unskilled, you do it. Why are you demonizing someone for doing something that you use to your convenience and your advantage every single day without even realizing it? And legit telling people to shut up and stop complaining when you have people begging for the United States government to give people more money on the stimulus check. Because listen, at the start of this pandemic, I'm pretty sure, was it $2,000? We had $2,000 to last us the entire year. And then the second one that people are still waiting on, it started off at $600. $600 COVID relief fund. Telling people to just shut up and go get a job. Compassion. You lack it. You don't have it. You can't just pick and choose what people deserve and what they don't deserve as a human being. We all need love. We all need finances. We all need everything, because listen, life is a struggle. Whether you want to admit it or not, you could be the happiest person on earth, but you still have struggle. People are hanging on by a thread every single day. You never know what someone is going through, and you think it's okay to bully, harass, tell people what they do and don't deserve, trying to tell people who they are as if you know them past what you see on a screen. Log out! Like, log out. Please log out. And that's what I'm saying throughout this entire video. The main premise was inspired by TikTok, yes, but now it's starting to get trickled into other social medias, and that's not okay. And you have these like cross things anyway, because people post TikToks onto Twitter. You'll see pins on Pinterest go to Instagram, and then the hate will just cross over from platform to platform. And like I said earlier, monkey see, monkey do. Gonna want to jump on the bandwagon and just say shit even if you don't actually mean it, because everyone else is being mean. Some people are genuinely just trying to have fun, genuinely trying to have productive conversations. Social media in and of itself isn't inherently bad. It's the community on here that is inherently bad. Social media itself is able to bring so many people from anywhere, so many communities together. You can find kinship with people that you wouldn't have otherwise because you would have to actually go meet them in person, have not on your phone. Gen Z has been coined to be one of the most closest out of the generations because, like I said, we all have not the same story, but similar stories to one another. I am completely cool and on board with turning your traumas, turning your hard experiences, turning your pain into laughter. Something way more fun to do. But in that sense, it also makes us one of the most farthest apart of the generations too, because now we're just completely desensitized to pretty much everything. Everything is covered in sarcasm and jokes and hee-hees and giggles and chill out, bro. Like, God forbid you have a reaction or an emotion. People tell you to start calming down as if something wrong is happening. But no, you can't just completely desensitize yourself with the rest of the people around you. This is not just you and your own reality. It's you and everyone else that you see around you, you know? It's like people forget that other people have feelings as well because they're so like in their head and so selfish, not in like a bad way, but just, you know, about themselves because, you know, you are you and you have your own shit to deal with. So you can't always be worried about other people. But I mean, damn, it takes 2 seconds to be a nice person. And I feel like that concept has just been completely tossed out of our heads as a generation, if you will. And it's sad because both online and in person, it's hard. People will just be a bitch to you for no reason is what I'm saying, both online and in person. So it's like, dang, I'll just stay inside. Like, I have been on YouTube since I was in the 3rd grade. I started making videos in the 3rd grade. One of my favorite things is to create content. I love making videos. I love editing them sometimes. I've always thought myself to be a very expressive person. Even if this wasn't ever gonna turn into like my job or anything, it's still something I enjoy, and I enjoy meeting new people, having new conversations, hearing different perspectives. I love reading comments. It's literally one of my favorite things ever. And I've mentioned this already when I talk about like Ectopia and stuff, but it's hard like when you have people messaging you and commenting really rude things towards you. You start to build, like I said with other creators, you start to build an anxiety towards being on social media and posting because you never know how people are going to react to you. I just wish people didn't like test the place of your being and your intelligence when they don't know anything about you. Please. It takes 2 seconds to be a nice person. Anyways, that is all I have for today's video. Please let me know what you think about this. If you have any opinion, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. If you are new, my name is Erlane St. Cyr. I'm 19 years old. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I would really appreciate it if you would, again, thumbs up and subscribe because it helps and supports my channel a ton. I work really hard on these videos, so I do have a support link in the description since the channel is no longer monetized because my other one is monetized now. That's another can of worms. There are no ads on these videos, so if you do want to support me, you don't have to. I have my cup of coffee link in the description if you'd like. I also have my social medias and all that. I'm at Erlane St. Cyr on everything. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.